Moving on, the European Union is scrambling to avert threatened tariffs by Donald Trump linked to Greenland while preparing retaliation if talks fail. EU leaders will meet at an emergency summit on Thursday, weighing a €93 billion tariff package, even the bloc's unused anti-coercion instrument. The dispute is set to spill into the World Economic Forum in Davos, where Trump will address global leaders. Sumita Karir joins in with more details on this.
That's right. Tensions between the European Union and the United States are only soaring, given the fact that US President's latest tariff threat on 8 European Union countries over Greenland. This could result in a mega trade war, as the EU nations, they are preparing for countermeasures reportedly. And this could lead to all the countries actually suffering a massive blow. In fact, retaliating to what Donald Trump has been suggesting with respect to Greenland and Denmark, President of France, Emmanuel Macron, stated that no amount of intimidation will change EU nations' course on Greenland. Remember, the US president announced 10% tariffs on 8 European countries from February 1 and a 25% further tariff from June 1 in case there is no resolution to this measure. In fact, a report suggests that EU is also thinking of some countermeasures. One, it could be possible retaliation related to a package of its own tariff of €93 billion of US imports. In fact, those were previously suspended for 6 months in August. In fact, French President Emmanuel Macron has also asked the EU to activate its trade weapon that's called the Anti-Coercion Instrument, ACI, and it's more popularly known as the trade bazooka. And this so-called trade bazooka could have broader impacts on the US, and that includes limiting access to public lenders, investments or banking activity, or restricting trade in services in which the United States has a surplus with the bloc. In fact, following this, the US president issued a statement suggesting that NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years that you have to get the Russian threat away from Greenland. Unfortunately, Denmark has not been able to do anything about it. Now it is time, and it will be done. In fact, it remains to be seen how the engagements of President Donald Trump are going to go with some of the European leaders who are going to be in Davos this week. President Donald Trump will also be in Davos, and of course, it will be interesting to see the kind of a direction that this particular conversation really takes, because this is not going to be beneficial for both either the United States, neither the United States nor the EU. And that is what the joint statement essentially stated, that tariffs would undermine transatlantic relations and risk a dangerous downward spiral.
Sumita, thank you so much.